Very good. Where are you logging in from now? We really appreciate your taking out the time and joining us today. It shows that you are seriously committed to improving the quality of your life and the lives of those who are near and dear to you. It's a weekend. You could have been anywhere doing anything, but you chose to come here, and that is amazing. The session today will definitely help you become happier, resilient, and peaceful. And the best part about this is once you become peaceful and happier, it is not only you who is going to get impacted, but also the people who are around you. And we create a ripple effect which just keeps on going, and it spreads happiness in the world around us. And it is with this intention of helping people become healthier, happier, and wealthier, I started Mindful Living in 2018. Prior to starting Mindful Living, I worked in the corporate sector for over 25 years in senior management roles. And I saw very closely how stressed people are in their professional and personal lives. And I thought to myself that there has to be a better way of living. There has to be a way of living consciously, living healthily, happily. And with that mission to help 1 million working professionals get healthier, happier, and wealthier, I started Mindful Living. In the 3+ years that we have been around, we have conducted more than 250 sessions for leading organizations like Aditya Birla Group, Tata Group, IBM, Microsoft, EXL, SDFC Life, Kotak Life, and many other organizations, impacting the lives of more than 10,000 people. The session today is a part of the Mindful Living Community Initiative. This community started during the COVID times in April 2020. And in less than 2 years, we have become a vibrant group of 2,000 people who connect every Saturday to discuss and learn different aspects of mindfulness. Today's session is on forgiveness, a practice which is very, very powerful. And our speaker today is a very accomplished corporate professional. Sarmila is a rank holder from Sydenham College, an alumnus of IIM Calcutta, a cost accountant. She has done her MSc in psychology from University of London and is a certified mindfulness expert from University of Oxford. She is the CEO of Step Up Wellbeing and Step Up Parenting. She's worked in leading corporates like ICICI, Tata Group, Hindustan Unilever, amongst others. Before I invite her to speak, I'll just like to give you a snapshot of what we are going to be covering in the session today on forgiveness. We're going to discuss what is forgiveness, why it is such a powerful practice, and how to implement it in our own lives. What are some of the myths around it? What are some of the challenges that we face in practicing mindfulness? But before we open the session, I would like to hear from you. What is your intention of joining the session today? Please share with us in the chat or unmute and speak. What is your intention? What is your expectation from the session today? What is it that you expect to get from this session?
You know what? I have always found that it is very easy to say forgive and forget, but it's very difficult to forgive if somebody has harmed you when you have not really done anything to that person. And yet that keeps rankling in your mind. It takes away your sleep. It gives you insomnia. So basically, by not forgiving, the person who is getting harmed is yourself. So if you really know how to forgive, it will benefit you rather than the other person. Of course, the others will also benefit, but the person who's going to be benefited most is yourself.
Absolutely. Very well said.
Can I speak?
Yes, Ella, please.
Yeah, the fact is that we are trying to forgive, but do we really forgive? Do we really forgive? That is my point. That even we say, okay, chalo, forgive and forget. But do we really forgive the people? It stays behind your mind. I've joined the session that
Ella, we are losing you there.
The whole thing, the whole episode is left for this number.
Thank you. Yeah, Ella, we are losing you. I think there is poor network. Thank you, friends, for sharing your expectations from us. We are going to cover most of them in the session today. And in case there is something that is missed out, please feel free to connect with us during the question and answers, which will be during the end at the end of the session. So on that note, I would like to invite Sarmila to please take the session today on forgiveness, on the art of forgiveness. Over to you, Sarmila.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. And yes, as you rightly said, it's a magical thing. And many of us are talking about how we've done forgiveness, and yet we find that we are not able to, let go, forgive as much. So today's session will be a deeper dive into the art of forgiveness. So let me just share my slides. Okay. So hi, friends. So as Ashish introduced me, with all these, the three parts that I want to lay stress on. One is the fact that I have psychology. There is something that I've done with interesting thing called matrix reimprinting, where we talk about trauma that children go through at birth or what happens when, at babies. And the third part is my work around in the cancer hospital of Tata Medical Centre. So I have used all those learnings plus my 25 odd years of working in the corporate, being a parent to two adult children, learned that forgiveness is a magical tool. Why? Because this is what we go through in our lives, every day in our lives. We are not perfect, we are humans. And to be humans, we feel all this. We feel anger, rage, resentment, bitterness. It's fine to feel them. What happens with most of us is we keep them, right? As many of you all are talking about, we forgive and forget, and yet it comes back. We feel shame, sorrow. So tell me, how do you all, so some of you all have shared how you all have managed these feelings, these negative feelings that are there. One way is to put in positive. The other ways of handling this are, okay, before we go in, there's this cartoon I just saw last minute. So if you all see the screen, what this person is saying, that he's called up his coach and he's saying, Coach, you never took me for the team. I worked through it for many years, broken marriage, therapy, and now I feel I have worked on it. But in the end, his last dialogue is, I have been practicing my kickball game. Will you still take me in? And what is it showing? It is showing that we have still not been able to let go. So for some of us, though we feel that we have let go, we've actually not. So let's go into the next. So what do we do? So when we face negativity in our lives, okay, जब problem आती है life में, तो हम क्या करते हैं? या तो हम problem को सुधार लेते हैं, we resolve the problem, or we seek revenge, or we avoid, right? We go in, and the final one, the one that I want to share, is we can let go and do forgiveness. So if you all can put on the chat which of these are the ones that you all have been using for a while, it would be good for us to know which of these are working for you. Many of us could be doing a mix of the two. In some cases, we resolve. In some cases, we seek revenge. In some cases, we avoid. And in some cases, we let go. So please let us know on the chat what you are using till now to handle these negative emotions in your life. So it comes to this question, why do we need to forgive, right? The first main is obviously that it has become a part of our lives, right? What is it doing to us? It is making us fall sick. It is making us go through negative emotions. बहुत anger होता है, pain. It's hurting our relationships also. Okay? It's not giving us peace of mind. So 1 minute. Sorry. So if we have to look at this, the main one, what is this doing? By holding on to this anger and pain, we are being chained to the person. So if we use the example of that man who has not forgiven his coach for not taking him. फर्स्ट ग्रेड में था जब वो कोच उसको नहीं लिया गेम में, वो अभी भी 50 साल में वो बैठा है कि कोच आपने मुझे नहीं लिया. तो क्या हुआ उसका? He is chained to that coach. So it could be a coach, it could be someone, it could be a boss, it could be a co-worker. You are chained to that person. So by practicing forgiveness, you are saying you are letting go of that bondage to that person. You are setting yourself free. Okay. While I was searching for this, I came across this lovely piece of music. Okay, there is a song called Forgiveness by Matthew Wade. Okay, if you see this which I have highlighted, it says, it flies in the face of all your pride. It moves away the mad inside. It's always anger's own worst enemy. Even when the jury and judge says you have the right to hold a grudge, it's a whisper which says, set it free. And the next statement here, which says, it clears the bitterness away. It can even set a prisoner free. There is no end to what its power can do. And that's what we keep saying. It's a magical practice. So let it go and be amazed by what you see. The prisoner, as someone just said in the beginning, is really you. You are prisoning yourself. You are keeping yourself in this link if you are not able to forgive. So on this note, let's go and look at how we can forgive. Okay, so what happens when we are babies? Okay, we are born with a clean slate. We don't have any negative emotions, negative thoughts in us. But as we progress in life, we have these negative emotions, we have anger, pride. It just keeps adding negative energies in our body. And what happens? It goes and clogs up parts of our body. Okay. Now what happens there? You've seen this. There is a connection between our physical body, our minds, our emotions. What we see, a physical ailment, is actually the last manifestation of this negative energy. Now say you are walking on the road, simple thing. Someone says something against you, okay? Then first the thought comes in your mind. Then it works on your heart emotions. ऐसे कैसे बोला? मेरे ऊपर क्यों चिल्लाया? Okay? तो दिमाग में ये चलता रहता है, दिल में ये सब चल रहे हैं कि why is this person saying? And finally, what is it? So as part of pranic healing, what we've learned is we are all energy bodies. हम सब energy हैं. Physics में भी हम सुनते हैं कि we are all energies. So we have energy within us. When we are babies, we have positive energies, clean energies. But as we go along life, the energy becomes poisoned. It becomes bad. It becomes negative. With that, then what happens? What happens is this. So take an example. Say someone has told you something. You're very anxious. So that anxiety may become sneezing. Ab cheekna shuru karoge. So every time you have to go and do something that you don't like, you will find that you are sneezing. You have an allergy. You have allergic rhinitis. So as your body is taking in more and more and more of anxiety, you will find that you start sneezing more, you start needing more medication, दवाई ज़्यादा खाते रहते हो, इसके पास जाते हो हकीम के पास, to a surgeon, to a homeopath, and then finally it becomes asthma. If you are not able to forgive, if you are not able to cleanse yourself, it becomes asthma. As you continue, you don't see it, like हमारे sinks block हो जाते हैं if we don't take care of putting कचरा, खाने वाला कचरा. Similarly, if our lungs get blocked because of this anxiety, all these thoughts and emotions that are coming into us, कि this person is bad, that person is bad, उसने ये किया, okay? You might even end up with cancer, okay? Lung cancer is the extreme situation of a cold, okay? आप अगर forgive कर सकते हो, let go, बोलो अच्छा ठीक है उसने बोला जाने दो, उसको पता नहीं, हम forgive कर सकते हैं. अगर आप वो कर सकते हो right in the beginning, your allergy will get resolved. If not, it becomes asthma and maybe it becomes cancer. I'm not frightening y'all, but what I want to say is that's what I've learned at the Tata Medical Centre, which is why I put that up, is many of these cancers that happen is because of pent up emotions year after year after year. And those who believe in karma, it's also coming from past life. For those who don't believe, just ignore that part of it. But for many of them, it also comes from the past. Why do we say that? Because there are children who are born who are not well. So where do that come from? Many of them also come from the parents. Okay, so which is why we were talking about cleaning the stress so that you clean the area around you in your house. And I run mom groups, parenting groups. So in that, I keep telling the moms, especially when they are pregnant, let go, forgive, lead a happy life, because otherwise your stress and emotions are going to then affect your child, and then maybe your child may have problems. So that is the biggest reason why you need to let go and forgive. So if you have to take away one thing from this, अगर आपको एक चीज लेना है, ये कीजिए आज रात से सोने से पहले आप सबको forgive कर दीजिए. Forgive everyone. Say, I forgive everyone who I have met today, whether we have hurt each other knowingly or unknowingly. Okay? And sleep with a clean heart. बोलते हैं ना, sleep like a baby, बच्चों जैसी नींद. So once you're able to forgive, once you're able to let go of this hurt, I can promise you, you will have a very good sleep. So for those who are not being able to sleep, who have insomnia, please take this. Use this opportunity to get a better sleep. Okay. Now let's talk about, before we talk about the process of forgiveness, before we say how to do forgiveness, let's talk about what forgiveness is not. Because abhi काफी सारे लोगों ने बोला था कि forgiveness means to forget. Okay, forgiveness, sometimes we feel कि जिसने हमको hurt किया है उनको जाके बोलना है, आपने मुझे hurt किया है, माफी चाहिए, या मैं माफी दे रही हूँ, या जो भी है. नहीं करना है. आप आपके अंदर भी माफी मांग सकते हैं. And finally, if someone has hurt you and you are fighting a legal case against that person, you have two ways. You can forgive and take the case away. You can forgive and continue with the case. Why? Because that is the lesson that that person needs to learn. So by continuing with the case, it does not mean that you are not doing forgiveness. Okay, so this three things I want to keep with you all. One is, If you forgive, you don't need to forgive. You actually need to remember it so that never in the future does anyone hurt you again like that. So you learn the lesson. Okay? So you learn the lesson. This is why this person hurt me. This is how these things happened. So you learn. आप सीख लेते हो कि ये सीखना है हमें. इसने मुझे ऐसा किया. मैंने सीख लिया. मैंने forgive कर दिया. And I am moving on. But it's not necessary that you forget. Okay? You keep it like, say, पुराने maths tables हम सीखते हैं first, second, third standard में. We don't forget them. We've learnt our lessons. When we need it, we pull it out. So exactly like this. If something bad has happened to you, especially in cases of, say, abuse or things like that, forgive the person. Forget by learning the lesson. Okay? And the second, you don't need to go back and tell the person personally, forgive me or I forgive you. You can do it from your space. Okay, so many people don't forgive because they feel that they need to personally go and do it. Okay. Okay, now what are the barriers to forgiveness? Okay, एक तो unreadiness. मैं बड़ी बड़ी बातें यूज कर रही हूँ. Basically, I'm saying that we are not ready for it. Maybe we have not reached the stage. It is okay. It is fine. It will slowly come to you. So if you are in a state where you find that you are not being able to forgive, it is okay. Even that is a learning. Okay. This company is called Step Up. So that's what we say. Take small steps, one step at a time. You don't need to go all the way out. Someone did something to you, you forgive, and the next day you find that all is fine. ऐसे नहीं होता है. Okay? It will happen step by step. It's a slow process for some. It's a fantastically fast process for some. जो आपके लिए है वही होगा. तो आप अगर आप स्लो जाना चाहते हो तो आप स्लो जाइए, अगर आप फास्ट जाना चाहते हो फास्ट जाइए. Now, related to what we talked about past events is self-protection. Many of us feel that if we forgive, हमने उसको माफ कर दिया, वो वापस मुझे वही करेगा. It will come back again to me. So why should I forgive? Why should I forget? So the thing is, forgive, don't forget. Learn the lesson. Protect yourself so that it doesn't happen to you again. Maybe in your workplace, you find that you have the usual thing that we talk about is bad bosses. You know, you keep thinking, all my bosses are bad. इसने भी मेरे को डांटा, उसने भी मेरे को डांटा, someone is not appreciating me, and you hold that in you. What you need to do is to go inwards and see why is this happening for you. The last is face saving. Okay. We think that if we forgive someone, we will lose face. वो बोलेंगे you are weak. There are people who think that those who forgive are weak. But I say no. The ones who forgive are the strongest. It is really your strength which helps you forgive. It is not for the weak, the forgiveness. It is also said in the Gita. Okay, that if you want to look for someone heroic, look for someone who has forgiven, because forgiving is the ultimate. Now, I don't want to frighten you all and say, oh my God, Sarmila bol rahi hai ki bahut difficult hai, we will not be able to forgive. It is not that. It's a step, it's a process. And I'm going to now tell you all how to do it. And once you all have learned the process, you will find that it is super easy. The one point that I want to leave before we find genetically, and that's where my psychology comes in, that women find it easier to forgive than men. These are studies that have been conducted. Why? I think it's because we feel that men should be strong. If we forgive, again, it's part of the face saving, we will be seen as weak. For women, you know, many of us are mothers. We believe that that's how we are told. Society tells us forgive. So we find that genetically, societally, personally, women find it easier to forgive than men. So, this is my note to all the men who are listening. जो भी सुन रहे हैं, please go out and forgive, because otherwise you will end up with physical ailments, heart attacks, lung problems, liver, stomach. Why? Because all these go and attack the part that is weak. Okay. So when we talk about this physical part, I just want to go back into this. So in this physical part, what will happen by keeping all these emotions within you? Different people will face the problems of this in different parts of the body. Whichever part of your body is weak, that is the body. So some people will have headaches, some people will have sneezing, some people will have stomach issues, some people will have irritable bowel syndrome, some people might have knee problems. Okay, so it's not that it will attack everyone or this will come into your body in the same way. It can attack different parts of your body. And I'm saying attack because that is what it does. These thoughts and emotions attack your body, make it weak. So now let's come to the process of forgiveness. हम कैसे forgive कर सकते हैं? So there are three ways of forgiveness. एक है forgiving others, एक है asking forgiveness from people, and finally the part that many of us forget, a secret. We will talk about it later. So let's talk about forgiving others. Many of us, and we keep saying this, right? इसने मेरे को ये किया, उसने किया. But many of us forget that we have also done something. We could have done it knowingly, we could have done it unknowingly. Okay? We could have done something we thought was a very small thing. But for that other person, it could be a very big thing. And in this, I talk about if you are in a position of power, if you are a boss, if you are a parent, if you are a teacher, if you are caring for others, okay, you are a grandmother or whatever, where you are the older person, please take care. Be a little kind. Okay, because sometimes we feel that we are doing, we are telling them the lessons, but they take it in a different way. Sometimes we are, say like me as a mother, okay, I am scolding my children, thinking that it is, I am setting them on the path of the future. But let's do it the right way, because sometimes, in India, we keep thinking, अरे एक मार दो तो ठीक हो जाएगा, या तो चिल्ला दो, otherwise children will take us. But these stay as scars in our children. So what I do, I actually ask my children for forgiveness. So we've done this. I do it internally. So that is how we forgive others. Now, there are two kinds of forgiveness. एक है अंदर वाला forgiveness, where you forgive. The other is the outer forgiveness, where you tell the person that I forgive you. आपने मुझे ऐसा किया, I forgive you. I let go of this incident. But in certain cases, you are not able to do it. Especially this happens with family members. You're continuously living with each other. You're continuously fighting. There is some problems happening and things like that. So on a continuous basis, you are not able to do it. You can't keep telling that person, I am sorry, ask forgiveness, give forgiveness. So what you do the internal. What I told you all, before you go to sleep in the night, forgive everyone, ask for forgiveness from everyone, go to sleep with a clean slate. I hope that is making sense for you all. It's a lot to take in for those who are listening to it for the first time. So this is what I want to leave with you all. I choose to forgive others. not because you deserve it or you have stopped the hurt. I forgive you for myself. And please remember this line. This is the most important part of forgiveness. You are doing forgiveness for yourself. You are doing forgiveness to set yourself free. You are doing it so that you can heal. So it's nice to look after yourself at some point of time. Self-care, self-love. So forgiveness is a part of self-love and self-care. It's a very important part. So remember this. And the last statement again, I will not forget the pain caused, but I will not let it happen again. So for those who think that by forgetting, you will be in that position again. And we have a group which works on domestic abuse, and we talk that's an extreme case. I'm giving extreme cases just to drive home the point. We are working on forgiveness. The forgiveness is internal forgiveness, the inner forgiveness. But on the outside, that person is saying that I am not going to be cowed down. You cannot take me for a ride. I will fight a case. I will go to the lawyer. I will do whatever I want. But internally, I'm forgiving. Why? Because I want to be rid of all these problems. Okay. And so we said forgiving others, seeking forgiveness from others. That's the second part. And the third part, which we forget, is self-forgiveness. We are very harsh on ourselves. Sometimes we feel that we can forgive the rest of the world, but we can't forgive ourselves. Sometimes we are our harshest critics. Okay? हमने ये खाना पकाया पर ये ठीक नहीं हुआ. मैंने ये काम किया पर I could have done it better. Okay, I could have been a better parent. I could have done this job well. So there are some of us who keep saying this. We keep beating ourselves down. Okay, some of us go the other extreme. We do self-harm. So for those people, the biggest thing that they need to journey is self-forgiveness. And for me, I actually think that self-forgiveness is the first step, because charity begins at home. If you are not able to forgive yourself, what will you forgive others? It is more difficult. Why? Linking it back to energy. What energy you give out is the energy you get in. And a simple example, energy. आप कभी किसी के घर जाते हो. Some people's house you like going. Some people you like to meet. Why? Because there is good energy in that place. There's good energy in the house. And some people you meet and you find, oh my God, I don't want to meet them again. They drain you. So they have negative energy. So if you are able to do self-forgiveness, you will be able to forgive others. So this is what we will be talking about little later. We're going to do a workshop from next week. So we'll talk about that later, but this is how we do. Okay. So now I've been talking for a long time. I feel I am like one Rajdhani because I have lots of information to give you all and time is short. So I want to take a break and request two of my friends, if they are here, to share. They were part of my 21-day forgiveness program in October I had done, and I would like them to come and share. Nishu, Rishita, if you can unmute yourselves and share about what you have learned in your forgiveness journey over the last 6 months and more.
Yeah, hi, Sarmila. I can start if that's okay.
Yes, Nishu.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everybody. So I had, as Sarmila mentioned, attended this forgiveness program with her, and I think that's the first time I really heard about that concept. And she mentioned about forgiving others and forgiving self. And for me, I kind of understood that forgiving others came easy. but forgiving myself was, very, very difficult. And, I think as a person, I am, perfectionist, and I tend to kind of, be far more critical of myself than I am of others. And so that's what I kind of continue to focus on after the workshop also. And last few weeks I kind of stumbled upon a thing wherein, every night before I go to sleep, I kind of, compliment myself. I tell myself that I'm great, and I love myself. And earlier it felt a little superficial, but as I've kind of done it over a period of time, I feel that I am a little bit more calmer. My anxiety is a little lesser. And I mean, there are subtle physiological changes in the body, and I'm able to sleep relatively better than what I used to earlier. So I think that for me has been the biggest learning, Sharmila, in terms of maybe it looks artificial to begin with, but slowly you start believing in it, and it becomes a part of you. So,
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for sharing,
thanks.
Nishu. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rishita?
Hi, Charmila. Hi. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm for some reason not able to enable my camera, so sorry for that. So before I start sharing my journey, I want to say, Charmila, thank you for the wonderful session. It's always been a pleasure to hear you, and it always brings me a lot of joy and peace whenever that you speak. Um, so, talking about my journey on forgiveness, briefly, first I'll tell the problems that I was going through last year. So then I'll tell how I came across forgiveness, and how I enrolled in the program with Charmila. So last year was a very stressful time for me, with the pandemic, with a full-time job and two kids at home. I mean, my younger one is as small as 2.5 years, and and then there were a lot of work-wise, work-related issues. There were lot of layoffs at work. So totally, it was a very stressful period. And with the pandemic, there were a lot of people in the family who were falling sick, and then there were no helps made. So I was like a total mess during, especially the times of April to June. Um, and apparently, that has started showing a lot of impact on my health. I was diagnosed with gallstones, and I was going through a very tough time personally. I was very overwhelmed. I was not able to understand what to do, how to do, and all that. And I was like a volcano back then, erupting for every small issue, for every small thing. I was getting very angry. My daughter and my husband, they were bearing the brunt of it all. That's when I realized that I have to do something about this. This is not the normal me. And that's when I started attending the meditations with Sharmila at noon. And they brought about a lot of peace and calm in me. But still the problems continued, and I realized that anger was not going down. And when Sharmila had started the 21-day program, I was like, very happy to enroll it. I joined it immediately. Uh, it brought about a lot of change in me. I won't say that, all my anger issues have gone down or anything. No, it's been a continuous journey. And they've been, I have self introspected a lot, understood a lot of problems, what I have. And like Nishu mentioned, for me, self forgiveness was easier. But I realized when I was going through the 21-day program that it was very difficult for me to forgive my mother. So, and I realized a lot of anger that I had was not the recent one, but a lot of incidents from the past which I was not ready to let go. And that was the biggest learning that I got from the program. It gave me a lot of self awareness and a lot of techniques and tools as to how I navigate it. And slowly I started. It's still a continuous process. I continue to do it. I make sure that every week I still do a forgiveness, program for my mother especially, and it's very draining emotionally to think of all those things, and but I'm slowly learning to let go, and now I'm in a much better place compared to what I was earlier, and I'm a calmer person. I'm a um, my anger issues have gone down, and I'm sure my kids will vouch for it, huh? Now, but I mean, it's been a really great journey, and I think this is something that all of us have to do, because I know deep down somewhere or other, we're all facing all these issues and problems, and forgiveness is something that is really like liberated me, and I wish it'll do the same thing to many more of you. Yeah, and Sharmila, a very big thank you, and always grateful for for your presence, for your words, and for all the programs that you do. I've been doing multiple programs with her, so yeah, she's
Thank
my
you.
spiritual guide, and I always uh,
I think
look
Rishita,
up to her.
now you are थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही हो रहा है. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
your kind words. Thank you so
yeah.
much. Thank you. So you've heard these two who have done this, and as both said, they had not heard about forgiveness till last year. So let's do a forgiveness meditation. Okay, let's do a small forgiveness meditation before we go ahead. After this, we will talk about. We are thinking of doing a similar workshop. We'll talk about that. Before that, let's do a forgiveness. So before we do it, think of one person that you want to forgive. Don't think of someone like, Rishita said, mother, or this thing, someone you have long-standing problems with. Think of someone easy who you have just small problems with. So once you've got that person in your mind, close your eyes, sit comfortably, and ensure that you are not going to be disturbed for the next 5 minutes. It's a quick forgiveness prayer. So, as we close our eyes, let's ground ourselves. Let's become aware of the present. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Let's take a few deep breaths in and out as we prepare ourselves for the forgiveness meditation. Now, as we breathe in and out, think of this person sitting across you in the chair in front of you. Now, as you see that person in front of you, just be aware, be mindful of the reactions in your body. What happens when you see that person in front of you? Where is that person's aura, energy hitting your body? उसको कहाँ पे उसका ये वार हो रहा है? Are you in your fingers, in your feet, in your heart, in your mind, in your throat, anywhere? Now, take 2 more deep breaths. Let out this tension, stress that your body's gone through, remembering this person, and touch your heart. Activate your heart chakra. Tap your heart. Feel love in your heart. And with the other hand, if you can, touch the other person's heart and say, from my heart to yours, Atma Namaste. It's a salutation from one soul to another soul. Forget that we are bodies. Remember that we are souls, we are ancient souls. So the namaste is from one soul to another. Atma namaste. Now say that I am sorry for all the things that I have done that have hurt you knowingly or unknowingly. I am really sorry for hurting you. पहले आपको माफी पूछना चाहिए. And say, I'm really sorry for all the hurt that I've given you. I am sorry. We are all growing and evolving. हम सीख रहे हैं क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, क्या ठीक है, क्या ठीक नहीं है. Now, ask for forgiveness. Say, please forgive me for the hurt that I have bestowed on you. Please forgive me for hurting you. So it's a two-way. You are asking for forgiveness and you are giving forgiveness. Put your hand on each other's heart while you do it. Please forgive me. I forgive you for all the hurts that we have given each other knowingly and unknowingly. This is our learning. We have learned these lessons. This is what we have come here to learn. I have learned my lessons. I hope you are also learning your lessons. Let us forgive each other. Let us live the rest of our life well. Let us forget these small fights, these bouts of anger, irritation, these words, thoughts, actions that hurt each other. Let's just let them go. I let them go. I pray that you will also let them go. And now visualize the two of you all smiling at each other and saying, oh my God, thank you for letting go of all this. This was such a big burden in my head, in my body, in my heart. I now feel so light. Ask the person in front of you, do you feel as light? Do you feel unburdened? I hope you are able to also do the forgiveness as I have done for all the hurts. And now visualize yourself hugging that person. Put your arms in front of you and hug that person and say, let's forgive each other. Let's live together in peace, in harmony. The past is the past. Let it go. I forgive you from the bottom of my heart. I ask for your forgiveness from the bottom of my heart. And for those who are able, who think that there is the higher power, there is a God above, let's ask forgiveness from God and blessings from God that we may be able to continue this forgiveness as we go along. what we've been taught today, what we've learned today, what we've shared today. May this set us on the journey of forgiveness. So thank you, God, for helping me learn forgiveness so that I am able to unburden myself, let go of all these negative energies in my body so that I am healed physically, emotionally, mentally, and maybe even spiritually. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And visualize yourself hugging the person again and say, tomorrow is another day. Let's live it well. The past is forgiven. And once you're ready, open your eyes with a big smile. I hope you all enjoyed the meditation. Please put in your comments on the same in the chat box, please. And we will ask you all to unmute yourselves a little later and tell us about. Okay, can we do that? Do we have time? We can ask 2-3 people to talk about how they felt after the forgiveness. Quick, one sentence. Anyone wanting to share? Yes, Poonam.
Sorry to sound little negative, but it really didn't help much because जिसके ऊपर जिसको forgive करना है, like I don't know, somehow the thought came to me कि वो forgiveness मांगे तो सही तो I'll give. I'm so sorry.
No, so it's a good question because you are, like I talked about, inner forgiveness and outer forgiveness, right? So you are forgiving that person, okay? Now, it is not always a one-way thing, right? The forgiveness is two ways. You've done something and that person has done something, okay? It's never that a one way, that person has only done something to you. Very rarely does it happen, okay? So that's why I said knowingly and unknowingly, because you think that you have not done anything to hurt that person is only hurting you, okay? So that is where the thing is. By doing this forgiveness both ways, you are just clearing the path. Now you have thought of that person. That obviously means that there is some unburn, right? So you are clearing it up from your side. Okay, saying मैंने कर दिया है, मैंने साफ कर दिया है, अब आप देखो, I have freed myself. You figure whether you want to be chained to me or not, or you want to let go. Yes.
A very important follow-up. That person to whom I am supposed to forgive now, whom I thought, so should I call her up or I just अपने own पे कर दूं? And am I supposed to?
अपने आप. As I said, you don't need to call the person and say it. That was the things I said. Don't forget, don't call up the person if you don't want to, and the legal part. So those were the things. You don't need to call up that person. And that's a very important lesson that I have learned. That you don't need to call and say कि अरे मैंने forgive कर दिया, अब तुम forgive कर दो. Okay, don't do it. It's your heart.
A very small thing. How do I next time behave with her?
Can we do it in the Q&A? Sorry, we have some more things to say. Can we do it in the Q&A if not a problem? Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? I will go ahead. Okay, so let's go ahead. So now that we've done, as you're seeing that Poonam had questions, she said, how do we do it? Because, and how Nishu and Rishita said that it's a process, we need to do it. So what we are doing is we are having a small introductory 14-day workshop on forgiveness. Okay, it is an introductory session on forgiving and healing ourselves because we are very important to ourselves. What we are going to do by doing this, like I just did a 5-minute thing. We are going to do this every day. We are going to use this to heal our minds, bodies, and souls. We will learn the art and science of forgiveness. So I will talk more. You've seen that I have a lot of information. So different techniques to use, which will start you on, because some techniques will work for you, some techniques will not work for you. There's mindfulness, there's tapping, there is, from the Gita, you have matrix reimprinting. There are various things that I have gone through, pranic healing. So we can use, I will share all these and then you all can decide it. So we are going to try and remove all this anger, pain, things, all these negative emotions from our root, so that we are able to have a better relationship. So what is the course content? It's only 14 days. Why? Because it is just a starter. We want to first start with this and then we will continue on the path. So what will we talk about? We'll talk about what are the 8 steps of forgiveness. How do we do forgiveness for self? How do we do forgiveness for others? And as I said, meditations and journaling. Now, this is similar to what we'll do. These are the 8 steps that we are going to do. We are going to make a list of, say, for ourselves, forgiveness. What do we need to forgive ourselves for? Choose a particular thing, go into the depth of it, understand from the root why this is happening, and try and remove that. So that is what we will do over a week. So 1 week we will do forgiveness of self. The second week we will do forgiveness of others. And this is, so how do? We will do this. We will give you these kind of meditations to do. How do you pick up a particular trait, work on it, release it, let go? We will give you self-affirmations. We'll give you affirmations for forgiveness for yourself, for others. We will give you these kind of journaling prompts. Okay? I forgive myself. So every day you will think about this, go deeper. You will get understanding as to why this is happening. And there are patterns. Now, a lot of this is stored in our body as obesity. So that is how it comes in our body. We become fat because we are holding on a lot of emotions. So it is for everyone. It is also for people who have health problems. It's going to be over 2 Sundays, 4 to 5 p.m. And for this group, we have it as a special rate of $9.99. So in case you all want to sign up now, this is the number. You can Paytm it, $9.99. And over to you, Ashish. We've gone a little over time.
Thank you, Sarmila, for this awesome session. And we've got such amazing feedback from people on the meditation and on the content of the program. I think, and the testimonials that were shared were also very nice. This is amazing. And I think we have Shilpa, who is signing up as the first person for this. So thank you, Shilpa. Welcome to the program. This is an amazing program, friends, that Sarmila has put together. Please make sure that you take benefit from this. There is something I would like to share with you why this is so powerful. And let me pull up this energy scale, which is made by Dr. David Hawkins in his very famous book, Power versus Force, where he has calibrated energy associated with the emotions. And there are low energy emotions like shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, and then there are high energy emotions. And the reason I practice forgiveness is because it has helped me move from the low energy emotions to high energy emotions. And friends, the life in this living in a contracted state and life which is living in an expanded state of consciousness is very, very different. The lower range of energy, lower end energy emotions, they keep you trapped. And there are a lot of obstacles which come in the life when we are trapped there. But when we start forgiving, when we start letting go, we find that we get elevated to a higher level of consciousness and life becomes so much more fun. Who would like life to be fun and fulfilling and happy? If you would like your life to be fun, please type F in the chat box. Thanks, Kulmohan. welcome to the program. If you would like your life to be fun, please type F in the chat box, friends. And one more thing I would like to share with you is that these lower energy emotions are very seductive. Like this song from the film Anurodh, which is penned by Anand Bakshi, in which he says, "Jab dard nahi tha सीने में, क्या खाक मजा था जीने में." We all get used to living with our own pain, and at times it validates us, it validates our ego, it validates everything that we have gone through. But friends, that's a painful place to be in, where a lot of obstacles are there, a lot of struggle is there. It's much better to learn forgiveness. It's a simple practice, like Sarmila said, but this requires, it works at many levels. And that is the reason we have conceived of this 2-week program, which is simple yet very effective. You've heard people who have participated in this program and benefit from it. So this is what we would like to share with you, and you have a choice today, and as we come to the end of this program, whether you would like your life to be fun and fulfilling, or you would choose to continue to live with that pain, continue to live blaming other people who have hurt you, who have wronged you. And there are many, everybody has them in their lives. So this is a choice we would like to leave you with. In case you would choose to elevate your life, take that decision, and you can take a screenshot of this and remit 999 rupees to Ashmita and be a part of this awesome program. Last time when Sarmila did this was many times over this price. This special deal is coming to you because this is an initiative of mindful living, and we are doing this more out of love. Last 2 years have been very, very tough for many people. People have, even though we feel trapped living with our family members, with no access to friends, colleagues, a lot of emotional challenges people have faced. So we want to make this easy for everybody. So this is more out of love. The value of this program would be 10x, 100x, we don't know. But we're just trying to make it simple for you to take that decision. And even if you choose to come on board or not, these are some resources which we would like to share with you, which you can read up or look up. Colin Tipping and has got a lot of YouTube videos on the 5 steps of radical forgiveness. You can go and look them up. This is what it is. You could also look up this February month calendar, happiness calendar by Greater Good Science Center. And I would like to draw your attention to the what is there on day 17, which is find your tribe by seeking out cultural and community groups. And I would like to draw your attention to the fact that this program is organized by Mindful Living Community. Some of you are already a part of this community. Some of you are new and joining us, our session for the first time. Every weekend, we organize complimentary sessions like that. And you can be a part of our WhatsApp group and get updates of all the events that we do. The event next weekend is also an awesome one, where Jayashree Kannan is going to, who's a cancer survivor, is going to come and talk about how she adopted a plant-based whole food diet to recover from her 3rd stage ovarian cancer very successfully. So that's the session we are going to have. Please, join us in our WhatsApp group and get to know about these awesome sessions that we do. And the recording of all our previous sessions is available on our YouTube channel. You can go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that's where you can get all the details. So friends, on that stage, I will open up the session for question and answers. Thanking each one of you for joining us today, and thanking Sarmila for such an awesome session and sharing with us about this powerful practice. And friends, we are open to take questions if you have any.
Thank you. Yeah. So Poonam, in case you want to ask the question that
Sarmila, we have a question on the dates and time.
Generating place in your own house.
Pardon?
Or if you are looking for a professional opportunity,
Who is it? May I request you to put on your camera, please?
Yeah.
We'll request you to raise your hand so that we can identify you. And
I think this thing. Okay.
so while we wait for the questions to come, Sarmila, there people want to know when are the sessions scheduled? What is that? What are the dates and time?
Yeah. So it is it's 27th is one Sunday, and the Sunday after that, which is 6th. So it's basically on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. And that is when I will come and talk to you all. We'll do a workshop, live workshop. During the week, we will give you all meditation and prompts in the WhatsApp group. So as we mentioned that there is a WhatsApp group that will be formed once you've signed up for this course. That WhatsApp group will be there for the next 2 weeks and more. So even my 21-day forgiveness, which I did in October, that group still exists. The people have not left that group because they ask me stuff even on that group. So we talk about it, and many of them have come for this program today also, like Nishu and Rishita. So we will be sharing the meditations and the journaling prompts on that group. And so every day, whenever you get time, you can do a daily practice. And that's what we've learned, that if you don't do a daily practice right in the beginning, you're not going to build muscles. It's like when you're learning to go to the gym or you're learning cycling, you do it every day. Once you've reached a certain level of proficiency, then you can do it on your own. It's like Nishu saying that I did this, I learned this, now I am adding on more to my practice. So for 14 days, it's a Sunday, 27th and 6th, 1 hour, 4 to 5. And then every day we will put up the prompt in the morning, a meditation and a journaling prompt, and you all can do it. Maybe this time the learning is that I will ask you all to write in, so that it's a way of my following up with you all to ensure that you all are taking baby steps. So I would like you all not to fall by the wayside. So I will help you all to be there. For 14 days, we will handhold you. And at the end of 14 days, we will take your feedback as to how we can make this better, what we can do, what helped you, what didn't help you, to work on our future programs. Yeah, I hope that has worked.
Thank you,
Yes.
Sarmila. And before we take Sneha's question, friends, we are sharing the link to a feedback form. Please share your feedback. Your feedback is very valuable to us. It will take you less than 30 seconds to fill out the feedback form. Once you have filled out the feedback form, please type FD, feedback done, in the chat. And we will now like to open the question. Sneha, would you like to share your question, please?
Hey, I just wanted to know, how do I like find out what's there next Saturday and then the Saturday after that, since you mentioned that there is a session every Saturday?
Yes, so this is regarding the mindful living sessions that we organize.
Yes, yes.
The session on the next Saturday is on the Eating Your Way to Health, which is by Jayashree, who is a nutritionist, and she talk about.
So how do I like get the link to that session?
Yeah, so we
will
have
it be the same ID?
We have shared the link to our WhatsApp community in the chat box. So you can click on that link and become a part of our WhatsApp community. That's where all the session details are put.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sneha.
And Sarmila, thank you so much. As always, your voice is so soothing. I'm just feeling relaxed listening to you itself.
Thank you. So join this workshop, because then you will be listening to my voice for 14 days.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Poonam. Thank you.
Yes. Friends, any questions, comments? Thank you, Manu, Sunita, everyone, for sharing your feedback.
Okay, so no questions. Great. So I hope either you all have understood what I have said, and you all are maybe feeling, as Sneha said, spaced out after the meditation. So you just want to remain in that space. So that's fine. Perfectly okay. You can message us later, even on these numbers. You can WhatsApp us in case you have any queries. Yes.
Yes, Vasanti, come on, please.
Yes. Yes, Vasanti.
Yeah, hi Sharmila. Hi, hello Ashish. Hello
Hello.
everyone. My question was like many of the times when we feel that we've been wronged, it's more a question of our perception, right? In the sense we are touchy or sensitive. So, will this also help us to kind of evolve and not take it in such a negative way? Maybe if somebody says something, to just kind of be able to deal with it at that point itself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely right. So this is like exactly as you said, we don't need to take it personally. It is not something someone is pointing, telling us something. And so we can do the first thing, right? We resolve the issue, saying that, okay, this doesn't hurt me. But by chance, if it hurts you, you take it in and then you say, okay, I took it in, I learned the lesson, now I let go, I forgive, I clean the slate. Okay, so you can do it two ways, because sometimes some things we are able to resolve and let go. There are some things that we are not able to let go. There are some people's things that we are not able to let go. Okay, there are some situations we are not able to let go. So I realize that it's very specific things that hurt us. The other things, people might have told us bigger things, but because it's by X person and not Y, we are able to let go, but we are not able to let go what this person has said. And it can be a very small thing. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Yes.
Thank you, Vasanti. Sunita, you have a question, Sunita?
Yeah.
Yes. Sunita, you're on mute.
Please unmute yourself. Thank you. You're still on mute.
Sunita, we can't hear you.
Can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yeah, please.
So thank you very much for this session. It was really wonderful. I enjoyed the meditation a lot. So my question is that like what I find very challenging is when I have mentally forgiven. I've been in the process of forgiveness for a long time. And when I have forgiven a person, but it is someone who is in my relation, so I'm going to keep meeting that person again and again. So I don't think I behave normally with them, because I'm so wary of the hurt and the resentment which is going to build up again. Like I've forgiven, but at the same time I'm holding on in a way. So how do I deal with that?
Yeah. So I think you're still in the process of forgiving.
Right.
Because as like you said, you're wary. Okay. And as we said right in the beginning, we don't forget. Okay, but we are still allowing that person, and we are then holding ourselves saying, oh my God, what if that person hurts me again?
Yeah.
So you are again going into that position of, oh my God, that person should not come and hurt me. You are still in connection with that person.
Right.
Right? So you need to work a little more on yourself. Maybe this might be the last stage that you've worked on yourself for so long. Try and work. So if you join our sessions, maybe you can the same, because the prompts might be able to help you let go as to what is not allowing you to let go.
Yeah, I am going to join.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure I will be able to learn how to, like a thought will just trigger off the whole scene again. That, oh, this happened and I was hurt, so I should keep away from that person. I mean, I want to become normal. I mean, it shouldn't bother me. I should be able to really shrug my shoulders and move on. I mean, that is not happening.
So as I said, there are some who are easy to forgive and there are some who are difficult to forgive, right? So maybe this is the one person who is little more difficult to forgive, and hence you need to work on it a little more. But think of it this way, there are other people whom you've been able to forgive and who you've been able to let go, right? So give yourself a pat on the back for that.
I need to forgive myself more because I'm very
Forgive
defensive.
yourself also for not being able to forgive that person. So they're all linked.
Right. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunita, for that question. I think that was very relevant. And there's one small kind of story I would like to share. The hand of a person picks up the hammer and smashes the knee. And the hand thinks that I am not hurt, it is the knee that is hurt. And the point is, friends, that we are all part of the same ecosystem. And whether the hand is thinking that I have hurt the other person, or we thinking that we have hurt the other person and the other person has hurt us, it's essentially we are all one. So as in this process of forgiveness, we start realizing that we surrender our ego, we surrender the differences that exist between me and the other person, and we start realizing that we are all hurting each other. And in this process, we surrender our hurt and we elevate our consciousness. So it's a very powerful practice. I would urge you to try this out. This is awesome. It's very magical. It's a magical practice, and that is and it's a simple practice. Once you start practicing it, it is awesome. So I would strongly urge you. I have seen magic happen in my life, and many of you who know me know that we only preach what we practice. We don't just preach anything like that. So it is from our personal conviction. We are coming from a space of personal conviction.
Absolutely. And if you believe in karma, this is a great way of resolving your karma, because if you believe in it, you will know that the people who are around you are the people who've been in your lives for years and years past, lifetimes past, right? So each of y'all have come to learn a lesson. And the other thing that we were talking about, the person who troubles you the most is actually your biggest teacher, because that person is saying, better learn this lesson in this lifetime, so you are rid of it in this lifetime. If you don't, maybe next lifetime you might need to learn it again. So this is an opportunity. By coming here, the universe is saying y'all are ready to learn this forgiveness, let go of all the things in the past, and start a beautiful new life. So whether you join me or not is not the question. As long as you start the practice with me or otherwise, if I've put the seed of forgiveness in you, I think I've done my job. And thank you very much for joining.
And thank you, Vasanti, for joining the community, for joining the program. We welcome you on this awesome journey. We understand that we are 18 minutes past the scheduled time. So, and we also understand that you have questions. So what we will do is we'll bring the session to a close, but anybody who has got questions can stay on, and we will be happy. I'd like to request Sarmila, if you've got 10 more minutes, maybe we can take formally draw the session to a close. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Sarmila, for such an awesome session. This is such a powerful, such a simple and such a powerful practice which elevates your state of being, which elevates your consciousness to a stage where things become happy, you become peaceful, things happen, synchronicity happens, serendipity happens, a lot of wonderful things happen. So please join us. Be happy. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Atma Namaste.
Thank you. And friends, if you have any questions, we will be happy to take them. Else we will draw the session in a couple of minutes.
Okay, I don't. Anamika, I see you in and out. Would you like to share? I